I'm Judah Alloway, host of Imagine Community, and today we're here with Sam Yoon, the Executive Director of Council of Korean Americans. Sam, it's so great to see you here today. You're our first Korean American that we're interviewing in the DC area.
Okay.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about your past, some of your career choices, education choices, as well as your present role over at CKA, and the future. What does your organization need, and what is your future vision of change?
Sounds great.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your background. I know you have a very untraditional career path where you were up in Boston and you ran for city council, but what are some of the decisions that led you up to throughout your formative and college years?
Well, I was born in Korea, and I came to the States when I was 10 months old. So I had to be naturalized as a citizen. I think my Korean American identity, growing up, I grew up in rural Pennsylvania. It was, but anywhere you go, there are enough Koreans to put together a church.
This is true,
So,
right? Or a small little grocery store, or a bodega,
exactly,
a hair salon,
anywhere you go.
Dry cleaning store.
Even in rural Pennsylvania. But I think my identity as a Korean American was formed around the weekly church community where you'd see other people that looked like you that you didn't see during the week. And but I when I went to college, I think even there I didn't fully explore what it meant to be Korean American. This is the 90s.
Right.
I have to imagine it's different now.
The
kind of our country has really changed, since way back then, Stone Ages. But
it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. Let's not date ourselves.
I know.
But
Sam, weren't you the youngest Korean American person to get elected in city council in Boston?
I was on the younger side.
Okay, all right. Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah. But I think a lot of my identity was formed around education, which kind of goes hand in hand with being Korean American. Let's face it, as an immigrant, and I had the benefit of having a really great education thanks to hard work and sacrifice of my parents. But at Princeton, I explored a lot of what it meant to live and grow up in a city just 30 miles away from Princeton, Trenton. And did a lot of volunteering there. And again, the 90s. The schools were broken.
Trenton makes the world go around.
It does, right? Yeah. But industrially, like a lot of cities, had fallen into, hard times, and so education, was my way of trying to understand like what I had been given that others haven't through really, no choice or fault of their own. So I really, left college thinking I need to help change the world, and that was through the urban schools. So I did that for a year, or in Elizabeth. I took a year off from college in Trenton and taught there too. But and then it dawned on me. First of all, I was the one that got the education. I gotta say, it's tough. Working in schools that have they're in disadvantaged parts of the in disadvantaged areas.
Sure.
But then it really made me understand why policy and government actually matter.
Of course. That makes sense.
Systemically,
really
at that level, change happens. It may be hard to perceive, kind of at the ground level day after day, but let's look at what's happening today, and you know that leadership at the highest levels in government and the public sector really make a difference. So I went up to Boston. That's how I ended up in Boston.
Of course.
At the Kennedy School of Government. Yeah.
And did you get your master's there?
I got a master's degree in public policy.
Oh, okay.
Found my discovered a love for the housing world, affordable housing. Which is a fascinating kind of sub-industry because you have to mix findings. Mixed use. Yeah. That's right. Money from government as well as trying to tap into the private market and satisfy all different kinds of needs, neighborhood by neighborhood. Zone. You got it. It's a fascinating kind of game, but all for a good cause.
Yeah, it builds neighborhoods.
Builds neighborhoods, and making housing affordable for those who really need and can invest in neighborhoods.
Great.
So But having done that for 10 years in various parts of Boston, I ended up in Chinatown.
Oh, you did?
And this is really where the story of my running for office comes about, because Boston's Chinatown it's a small Chinatown, but very proud.
I've been there. It is very small.
It's very small. But you know, it is a Chinatown where people actually live.
This is
Chinese
true.
people actually live there.
We went there for dumplings at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I won't tell you why. People do live there, and it is open.
It's
24/7.
It's a thriving kind of enclave. You know, Tufts Medical School is there. Students, and they're but it's right next to downtown.
It is.
And yet there are families who still arrive to America to live there
and work
there.
And
get
their
restaurants.
kids educated there.
Absolutely, it's a gateway.
It is.
It's an immigrant's gateway. Fascinating and really. For me, it was the first time as an Asian American. I actually went to work and saw nobody but Asian Americans. Like, wow, this is, and I wasn't even Chinese.
Right.
But it still felt like home.
And how did the Chinese community embrace you?
I think I felt embraced. I really did, and I think it wasn't hard to kind of if you had a passion for what was going on there and you wanted to make a difference. Asian American, there's definitely a commonality. There's a common language, if not spoken, just in kind of values and background and whatnot, that I definitely share.
Emphasis on
education, hard work, family, all those things really, and it was a sense of family in when I was working in Chinatown. Ironically, when we moved into Boston, we happened to choose a home that was in a Vietnamese American enclave called Fields Corner. And it's like on the East Coast, it's like one of the largest Vietnamese communities.
I did not know
So it's like on both sides, I go home and we have fun, go around to some of the shops, and then during the day I was in Chinatown. But all in all, when I was there, I really got this overall sense that the Asian American voice is so missing.
It is. And then what inspired you to run for politics in a primarily Chinese American community, living in a Vietnamese American community?
It was almost. It definitely came out of my work in Chinatown, because when you try to, for instance, our campaign was about basically claiming a piece of land that was owned by the state, but had a history such that we were claiming, no, it really belongs to the community. And so it was a community campaign to say, this land must come back to Chinatown, because you took it from Chinatown.
That's so great.
50 years ago.
All right.
And so that was a political fight.
Oh, I can imagine. How did it go?
It went well, because the demand was the state needs to give that back to the community for $1. That's a piece of land that's probably valued at like $20 million.
Wow.
And there are all sorts of historical and moral reasons that we claim that should be done. So, and it did come to the community for $1 million, a cool $1 million.
Wow.
But that was still way rock bottom price in order for them to build, the community to build what it wanted to see there. But in the course of all that, working with state senators, state reps, city councilors, I'm looking around like, whoa, wouldn't it be interesting if there was even one Asian American who would champion this? I mean, we had some great champions, but just think of it if there was one
coalition,
even just one state rep who from anywhere in Massachusetts would say, I really believe in this, and they could have testified, they could have really said this person, things like that. So that's kind of when the light dawned, wow, just having an Asian American face in government, in this case it could have moved mountains faster, quicker, whatever. But you still ran anyway. So I ran, and the idea was well, I think in Chinatown there would certainly be a bigger turnout, just because they literally see someone who looks like them running for office, and in my neighborhood in Dorchester. But the more people that I talked to in Boston at that time, the more I realized it's not such a far-fetched idea, because I was so different, particularly because I didn't have Boston roots. No Asian American had run before. And I'm coming from this non-political world of community development. I was a teacher. They said that's not a bad profile. I was like, wow, because it was. I mean, I thought I could easily make history just by running, because I'd be the first Asian American. I didn't have to win.
Right.
So they're like, just run. Like, I don't even have to win. I'm in the history books. The more people I talked to, I was like, oh no, you might be able to actually do this.
Uh-oh.
They were probably lying to me
just
to get me to do it.
Didn't you win twice?
I did. No, I did. So I actually won my first time out. I mean, there were, but the contrast was partially what explains that, because the other four who were running for the one open seat,
right?
The one open seat, the other four were literally, they were all Irish Catholic. One was the son of a mayor, the other was the daughter of a mayor, one was the secretary of state. Yeah. And so just them being from that political class, and me sticking out like a complete sore thumb.
Right.
I did get a lot of media attention.
Oh, that's great.
And the novelty, I think, of it,
How? That's like, crazy that somebody from the Chinatown area is running.
And a lot of folks thought I was
run.
Chinese, right?
Yeah.
I had to explain, I'm Korean American. Nevertheless, I think because I stuck out that way, and people said this is just a breath of fresh air for Boston politics. I won.
Congratulations!
So
that was huge, and then thus your Wikipedia article began.
that was my entry into
history.
And I didn't even write that. That's so cool. It's like I don't believe my campaign wrote that. Somebody just thought it was interesting and notable.
Well, it's definitely notable. And then I believe you went on in Boston politics for a period of time.
I won re-election 2 years later.
Congratulations.
To my seat. And then, after only 2 terms, I ran for mayor.
Ah.
And
another breath of fresh air, making the history books.
This was different. This campaign was wholly different.
And what was different about it?
Well, the incumbent mayor had been there for 16 years.
Ooh.
So it was not an open seat.
Right.
It was challenging someone there whose very identity was so closely linked with Boston.
Sure.
Had an incredible amount of power.
Yes.
So it was really challenging,
the status
quo in a big way. And I ran. We did something different in that campaign. And
what was different?
Well, there was a primary, and I didn't make the primary. Only the top 2 do. The incumbent mayor and my colleague on the city council, Michael Flaherty.
An Irish Catholic guy.
You got it, from South Boston.
Oh, a Southie.
As they say.
Right.
But he invited me to run with him, which
Oh.
was this is just to shake up the race. There's no. He said, if I win, if I beat the mayor, I will make Sam my deputy mayor.
Oh my gosh.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a deputy mayor.
Okay. Well, I gotta
Just
say
made
it
it
for
up.
a reason, right?
Made it up.
Well, if he became mayor, I'm sure he could write in some sort of position.
If he did,
on the executive branch.
yes, yeah. So it became a Flaherty Yoon campaign. It was a blitz to the general to challenge Menino, and the idea was to kind of combine our forces.
Sure.
He, his base was, more kind of traditional,
Right.
and mine was a little bit less traditional. But the idea is as a coalition we ran, didn't work out.
Well, it didn't work out the first time.
But it was, it was a really, incredible experience for me.
Oh, I can imagine. I believe you're one of the first Asian Americans to run for mayor of a major city.
I probably so.
Let me tell you.
Exactly. Like if somebody else has done it, please let me know.
That's true. It's true. Oh, what about Eddie Lee in San Francisco? But he's much after you.
Yes, yeah. At that time, yeah. In San Francisco, definitely.
Oh,
I mean,
there's
there's
one
Gene
there.
Kwan, in Oakland.
Right.
I'm sure there's some other, June Choi, Korean American.
Yes,
Edison,
up in
New Jersey.
Edison, yeah.
Yep. But even, and this is over 10 years ago.
It
Talk about
is.
dating ourselves, but I think since then it's really exciting to see other Asian Americans and Korean Americans really ascend.
Sure, and step up into the leadership.
Offices, yeah.
No, that's great. And then how did you come down to D.C. and how did Council of Korean Americans come about?
So after the mayoral election, there had been conversations among Korean American leaders, kind of in San Francisco, D.C., New York, to talk about forming a national network of Korean American leaders.
Of course.
And our original inspiration was a group in the Chinese American community called Committee of 100.
I believe there's more than 100 these days.
They're like 150 something. So but they still like the name, so they kept the Committee of 100. But But the idea was the same, that Korean American leaders ought to know each other, work across geographies and even generations. And so we put that together, and our mission was really to be a voice for the Korean American community, and also to develop leaders. So we have grown, since 2010.
Since it's been 2010?
It has,
oh my gosh.
yeah. And
7 years already. Where did the time go? Because I know Sam was also integral in organizing the first Korean American leaders briefing at the White House.
That's right.
Around that time period.
That was CKA's.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the brainchild of CKA. And one of I think that in a way helped to put us on the map.
It did.
It proved our value that we can have a voice, that we can be listened to.
And I believe a part of CKA is it's a non-partisan voice too. I just
That's correct.
Throw that out there.
It's a non-profit, non-partisan 501c3, and it's a membership organization. But we, for the last 2 years, what we're pretty proud of is I think we held probably the only real national Korean American convening in DC of the type where it's both a gala and a day-long conference.
Oh yeah.
And we've had some remarkable keynote speakers at our last 2 summits. First year was Jim Yong Kim, president of the World Bank.
Yes.
Korean Americans are all proud of what he's doing. And then last year it was Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of the UN. And it was almost like when he did our gala last year. It was like a farewell address, because it was his 10th year.
It was.
It was remarkable to hear kind of him reflect on his tenure there. But those convenings, they're really energizing for us and hopefully for the Korean American community, that we can convene, we can leaders will come and talk to us about what's happening in the world, and and we had a day-long dialogue about all kinds of issues of
That's great.
leadership and issues of the day.
And so your role as executive director,
Yes.
what do you normally do over at CKA? Is it vision?
Yeah, it's a lot of it. We're still a startup in a lot of ways. I don't think we've begun to tap the total potential of our community.
Absolutely.
In terms of resources and ideas and vision. We're really, let's say, 5 years old, and a lot of my time and energy goes to kind of building the infrastructure that an organization needs, which is easy to overlook. It's the stuff that is not that visible out there, but having a strong board,
of course, having
strong finance and fundraising, having a really clear message and strategy and direction. We've been doing a lot of that lately.
Oh, that's great.
But also, we need to have events and programs that really reach our community. One thing that we're really proud of is launching last year. We launched a public service internship program.
Oh, that's great.
PSI. And our first kind of pilot year class was 10 Korean American students or recent graduates who were placed in internships, from now Senator Duckworth's office, to Charlie Rangel's office, to the Millennium Challenge Corporation, to think tanks,
MCC.
to Asian Americans Advancing Justice, so nonprofits,
Great.
To Department of USCIS. So so it's a really they're our future, literally. I mean, these students. It was a competitive program. They won scholarships, and for a lot of them, they said we would not have been able to have that DC kind of public sector experience had it not been for this program.
Oh, that's so great.
And I feel like we're really changing the trajectory of a lot of young people's lives, and this year we're tripling the size of the class.
Oh, that's great. And where can people find more information about this internship program?
www.councilka.org. We've expanded to New York this year.
Oh, wow.
So for those students who are interested in working in kind of New York City, public officials' office or government offices, nonprofits.
John Liu, John Cho, all those guys.
Those guys. Well, now it's a different controller now.
Yeah.
But the mayor's office, the controller of the public advocate's office. That's right. as well as a host of other great, nonprofits.
Yeah, I heard Flushing was one of the richest areas in all the boroughs up in the 5 boroughs area for New York City.
Yeah.
Because it's cash rich, mainly because of Korean Americans and
Chinese Americans. Absolutely. It's the heart of the Asian American community in the Northeast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which is why the only Asian American in Congress not from the West Coast is Grace Meng,
yes,
who represents that district.
Of course.
The only Korean American.
And she's married to a Korean.
That's right. Korean dentist.
That's
right. and Ron Kim, Korean American.
Oh yeah.
He's also from that district, and he's the only Asian American in the entire state assembly whose wife is Chinese.
Oh, there you go. It goes both ways.
That's right.
Very closely aligned. That's right. No, that's amazing. So then, what do you see the future for the Asian American community?
Yeah.
Do you have a business card that would
definitely, yeah. But the Asian American, it is the fastest growing, minority community. Yeah, racial minority. Yeah. The Latino community is larger.
It is.
But in terms of the growth rate, Asian Americans are growing faster. There are more Asian American babies being born in hospitals in terms of our size than any other group.
This is true. Fast forward to 2050 or 2060, will be 50% of the population.
That's right. By the time my son is my age, today, the word minority will be kind of obsolete.
Right. It'll be the minority.
Exactly. So Asian Americans are going to take up a larger share of that. And so we really need to be part of the fabric of the American democracy. I think it's really strongly incumbent on the Asian American community to work hard at that because, because we are so diverse within our own community.
Oh, we are. We just had a meeting last night, and making sure that everybody's community is spelled correctly, first of all, and current, and what's going on in whatever leadership, and then what's going on locally, nationally, internationally.
It's like a UN.
It is. It's similar, very similar to convening a UN meeting.
Yeah. So all this makes it makes it harder, but all the more important because it'll be so easy to divide and conquer.
Oh,
right. In terms of politically, it'll be harder to kind of achieve consensus and a common voice, but so important to the extent that in the way American democracy works, your voice is what matters.
This is true.
And at the grassroots level, community level, all the way up to the kind of national convening, organizations.
Right.
There's got to be a lot of, energy put to kind of, empowering, educating, collaborating. Otherwise, things will happen that, we'll regret not having
to be a part of that fabric of our democracy.
Yep.
So it's a beautiful vision. Let's get out your business card, and here's our sugar bowl. There's a little bit of Judai magic. We're gonna blow your vision into the card and place it inside.
Is it your breath?
Oh no, it's your breath.
It is? It's mine? Okay.
Good.
How long do I get to blow?
As long as you like. Woo! Thank you, Sam. So you hear that all Asian Americans get involved. You heard it from Sam Yoon, not from the Wikipedia article, from himself. Make sure you get involved, stay involved, and use your voice about your concerns about what's going on in your community, locally, nationally, as well as internationally. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for being here and all the work that you've done.
Pleasure.